Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another Last Epoch dev stream. How's it going, everybody? Oh, I'm way bigger than I thought. Whoa, glad to be back. So how great was that trailer? I think it was pretty great. I'm pretty excited. Oh, here we go. Finally get to talk about so many things I haven't been able to talk about for months. Very excited. Very excited. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're going to be keeping it pretty low-key on the gameplay and focusing a little more on the questions and answers today. I hope you got lots of good ones for me. I expect as much. Got a few teasers lined up as well. And yeah, we're just going to hop right in. As usual, we do stream for charity. This is our charity above my head right here. And if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, please put at Last Epoch Game or on Twitch, and at Last Epoch, I think, on YouTube. Welcome everyone from YouTube as well. We are taking questions from both. And yeah, Kane will be funneling those to me, and I'll be answering as many as I can, as quick as I can. Let's get a little bit more space over here for that so I can see it a little better. Thank you very much, somebody. I'll look at that and say, here we go, what do we got? We're rolling in hot. Congratulate. 13 months resub. Thank you very much. Trailer absolutely knocked the leather off. Dude, out of the park. Thank you very much. Also, Air Weird resub 22 months in a row. These are wild. Wild, I say. Yeah, get a good look at what it used to look like. As we get ready for the future of the Monolith. another Prime sub. Here we go. Razgriz. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Welcome. Oh, what's that notification? Oh, gotta turn those off. They'll be going nuts right now. How do I just mute notifications for a little bit? We'll just turn notifications off right now. Oh, let's turn those off always. My goodness. All right. Questions. Dark Omen asks, merch store update? Yeah, I'd love to. I do know that there are still... I did recently learn that there is like feedback steps being taken on like quality of merch and like, oh, is this good enough? Is that good enough? Like, how should we do this one or that one type thing? I know that is, I don't know if it's specifically in plans for a merch store, but I did find out that that sort of thing has been happening recently in general. And I'm choosing to believe personally that it means that there's possibly something. I don't know if there actually is. I would love there to be. Guilty Summoner asks, I've got some questions. You are giving away 5 skill MTX as Twitch drops. Does that mean you have a surplus to release for us to purchase on Season 2 launch? There's a fair few. I don't know if surplus is a good word. I think it's stuff that people find exciting, so we tried to make a few extras specifically for the Twitch drops. But yeah, there's going to be enough in the store that we can afford to put some of them in Twitch drops for free. Some skills that are getting so not every skill is getting a new cosmetic effect, and some skills are getting multiple cosmetic effects. Partially because like once you start doing one of them, it's really easy to do 2 at the same time. So we can be more efficient if we do. For example, there's 2 Lightning Blast skill MTX, which I think may already have been revealed because we showed one of them off last week, and another one, a different one, is the reward, I think? Maybe? But yeah, so there's still some in there, don't worry. All right. Brand Spirit is Sentinel Forge weapon. Try to play something a little bit stronger so I could be a little bit less hands-on. Something that has minions, you know? Sentinel Forge weapons, skill tree skills were also changed. If so, can you tell us something about it? Thanks for great work and wonderful game. You're welcome. Thanks for playing our wonderful game. Yeah, so a lot of the power on Sentinel in general was coming from volatile reversal, having huge amounts of damage pumped into just about every other skill. And so there's another way to use volatile reversal as well that was very mandatory for judgment mana fixing, but because there's so much power that was coming from volatile reversal all over the place, like every other skill tree was just like, well, we got to put damage on all these trees. So yeah, there's a ton of damage buffs that went out to a lot of Sentinel skills because it lost a ton of damage from volatile reversal, which just means that you can build without volatile reversal if you want. However, we've also made volatile reversal a lot more fun to play with and a lot more functionally useful. So you've got better reasons to play volatile reversal, but less universal reasons to play VR. So it is, you're excited about taking it as a skill, not being like, well, I guess this is my tax for being Sentinel. I've got to put this one skill in. It's just wins all over the board there. Guilty Summoner again? Plenty, don't worry about asking too many questions as well. You can feel free to ask more. I don't know if I should say everyone's name. I don't usually do that, but I got him here, so I like it. What does attempt to equip to reveal mean? I don't know if I can say exactly. Basically, once you try to equip the item, it'll tell you what item it is. It doesn't actually have to equip onto your character. But it is a fixed item already at that point. It's just secret at that point. Guilty Summoner again. Lots of good ones. Are champion affixes only sealed as they are in that slot in the trailer? I believe so. I'm pretty sure they're only sealed affixes. I don't think they would really work any other way. They're kind of like personal affixes in a way. Alright, Guilty Summoner again. Lots of good ones here. What does the claw charm you showed off do? I'm like 90% sure we haven't revealed that, and I don't think I can. So I'm not going to answer, I'm sorry. Yep. It is like kind of related-ish in theme and stuff. I'm just going to throw people off by saying anything. You'll see. It's cool. C-Pint? 2 questions. When can we expect to see the patch notes for Season 2 so we can start to theory craft some builds? I don't know. I think it's going to be... I think the patch notes are still going to be on the latter half of March, but I could be wrong on that. If we do get a fixed date, we'll be able to update that later, but it's not right around the corner. Did you guys decide to have the character getting eaten by the Weaver be a Spellblade just to play Aaron Action RPG's mod Guilty Summoner? I love how that's after all of Guilty's questions to begin with. No, we did not do that. But I'm coming for you, Guilty. No, I'm just kidding. Alright. Medic. Hi, Mike. Controller guy here. I know. Don't worry. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing comparisons to PoE 2, but I would like to hear your thoughts on PoE 2 controller gameplay. I have not used a controller to play PoE 2 yet. For more than like 30 seconds. So like, I don't have a really solid personal answer to this question. I'll read the rest of it though in a second. Is there anything in PoE 2 controller experience you have seen that you would like to see in last Epoch? If you haven't tried controller yet, please do. That's your homework for this weekend. The right stick is to aim your character as revolutionary for ranged melee capacitors. Try it out. Thanks for reading my question. You're welcome. Yeah, so I'm aware of the functionality. It's a twin stick system, and this is the big thing about that we've been talking about quite a lot with the struggles for WASD implementation, and how we do have the WASD beta system coming in, so you will be able to use WASD to move your character. The animation, the part of the reason why it's beta is the animations do look a little janky still, because that's a huge amount of work to actually make them look good that we just don't have time to complete. And so yeah, there's similar issues with the whole twin stick thing, similar animation issues, and I mean, it's not off the table, but it is a very different way to interact with the game, and a lot of the reason why it works so well is because it's something that was built into the game from the ground up. And I am getting notifications for YouTube subscriptions, and I do not know how to see them. It does tell me, like, after the fact. I think I'm seeing it in my feed from last week, but not right now. But thank you everyone that is doing that, because there was a few there, and I'm like, I'll get these when I'm done the question. I look over and they're all YouTube ones, but that's great. It'll all go to the same place. That's the charity, not up. Anyways, all right. Yes, I will, just for you, I will play some PoE 2 with a controller. As it disconnects and reconnects to my computer a bunch of times. Sorry about that. All right. Will we still be forced to go to different timelines to progress the Forgotten Knights faction? Yes, the Forgotten Knights faction is the core functionality of how that works is consistent with 1.1. So there are some adjustments, some twists, and some ways to interact with it that are new. But the core system is still the same. Oh, sounds like they took care of a loot lizard for me. Oh. Right. I should chuck some of these in the ground. Can't wait. Auto stash incoming. You ready? Things move around, so the sort and transfer buttons are down here now in the future. So that's, I keep going down to the bottom to collect them. The layout's much better now, though. All right. Vergevine asks, Mike, when you use lightning wolves, they change visuals. Any plans to do so for cold wolves or bleeding wolves? So they change that perspective visuals too. The bleed one, I would say, is pretty standard, so probably won't do much there. I could see adding like an extra effect or something. But the cold ones, I could see that. That'd probably be much more likely. We don't have anything for season 2 for that. We are looking to have more visual representations of nodes you take in general, though. Just like whenever you're taking a node for something, we want that that visual like characteristic to show up and be indicative of what's actually happening. Part of it is just like, because when you take something that says, hey, this is cool fantasy, you want it to be reflected in what the character is actually doing, what it looks like, and also just because it helps you understand that it's actually working. I love this character. Wow, I'm having a lot of fun with this character. It's been a while since I played it. Michael Davies asks, Last Epoch, set item shards, how do they work? I don't think I think we're not going into full details on how set item shards work. They will be useful in some crafting stuff. You'll like they're item shards. They are item shards. Okay, like that's what they are. And they work like item shards. A few restrictions, but all right. Does the new Aberoth difficulty come with any cosmetic or rewards unique to the boss? Yes, it does. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm sorry. Hi, Mike, and everyone at EHG. Amazing trailer. Thank you. The trailer's pretty sweet. Okay, if for some reason someone here hasn't seen the trailer yet, oh my God, please go watch the trailer. They did such an amazing job on it, and like, it's great. Yes. You had a question that I'm going to answer. So happy to see hype building around favorite RPG. How excited are you guys about season 2? Yeah, it's I think my wife's a little sick of hearing me talk about it. Yes, very, very, very excited. All right. New faction. I think it's supposed to say faction in game will have item reservation too, just like COF. No. So the item factions are different from the. I may not even have it yet. Do I not have it yet? I haven't even unlocked it yet. Well, okay. So the faction you get, the Forgotten Knights faction, is the new Weavers faction is more similar to the Forgotten Knights faction than the item factions. So it is a separate individual faction that doesn't have any mutual exclusivity with any of the item factions. So the item factions are that tag items. Item factions tag items, and the Forgotten Knights and Woven factions do not. All right, can we get Void Wolves, pretty please, and in Void visuals? My goodness, I left my door open in the new place, and a cat has come down to try and beg for lunch. I don't know if she'll let me pick her up. Here we go. Ah! Yeah, you're okay. I'm sorry, Belly. I'm sorry. Okay. That was Bella. Or Belly. And she's hungry and has tons of food upstairs. She fights with they compete for food. There's two cats, and so the one that you just saw doesn't get the cat, doesn't get the food as much because the other one eats it really fast. So we got one of those like automatic bzz, bzz, things to like cover food, but it scares her. The whole thing. Can we get Void Wolves, pretty please, and in Void visuals? I think Void theming for other masteries in the future is definitely something we are interested in. I don't have anything for Void Wolves in season 2, but I could see a cosmetic circumnavigating that a little bit. All right. I'm not, to be clear, I'm not saying that there's Void Wolf cosmetic. I'm not saying that for season 2. All right, Spike, thanks for the resub, 22 months. That's a long time. Thank you very much. All right, some bugs on Beastmaster Sabretooth have never been fixed. I love the game, but never understood why they've never been. Talking about the Ice Cat skills and the Ice Cat itself. Yes, we actually mentioned a couple of these bug fixes in the Terra Monthly post that just went out. So if you haven't read that yet, check it out, because yes, I was working on Sabretooth bugs recently, actually. Very recently. Yeah, we're fixing bugs. There's lots of bugs, don't worry. Squashing them. with mastery respec, will there be a build / gear templates? No D3 armory system. I can see that that's getting a little bit more. It's one of those things that's tricky because we're kind of drifting that way a little bit, and it's not, I think, where we're super interested in drifting towards, but it's kind of happening. And yeah, we're not planning on it right now. Hey Mike, nice season 2 reveal. Thank you. Pretty pumped about it. Are you still planning on having the first 4 cycles be the same in Legacy and Seasons? That was so when we said that was sort of a like a rough estimate number. I would sometimes say 3, sometimes say 5, sometimes say 4, sometimes say the first few, sometimes say until we're done with it. You know, like it's always sort of a rough, vague. I don't have a fixed number. Season 2 will be the same as Legacy in the season. So all of the stuff for Season 2 is coming to Legacy at the same time. And that's the only thing that's guaranteed to be that way. And it's possible that other things are that way too, but it's the only one that we're guaranteeing is that way. Yeah. All right. First off, the trailer looked amazing. Thank you. And hype me really good. Just a little question. Played the last time by when Season 1 started. Does the new season also have changes to the Bazaar? Yes, there are Bazaar updates in the new season. Not like huge sweeping updates, but yes, there are some updates. What is the best raptor? The third one. That one right there. I don't know. I think Raptor Pack's my favorite. The single giant raptor is a lot of fun too. Yeah. All right. Hi Mike, happy Friday. The timer on the Tombs of the Erased webpage ends at 4 p.m. April 1st UK time. Has the release been brought forward? Or is this a countdown error? It should be 11 a.m. CST. We do, so the game's like Epoch time, we call it sometimes, is CST, and we're 11th hour games, so we release at 11 o'clock on Epoch time. It's kind of the way we've always done it, but yeah, it should be 11 a.m. CST, whatever that is, for UK time. I think it's -6 from that. There might be a daylight savings time thing happening that's making up that extra hour. I'm not sure, because that's the Sunday, isn't it? I think. Yeah, cash right respawned in with almost nothing that made it through the loot filter. That's funny. We're going to shatter it just to spite it. Did that use two? Oh no. Did that use 2? No, it didn't. Yeah, there it is. Looks like it uses 2, but it doesn't. Are these the new graphics, or is it not ready yet? I mean, so we're always updating the graphics in the game. There's always like little things that are updating. Sometimes it's like animation updates, there's texture updates, there's you know, like specific lighting updates in certain levels, and VFX updates, and like there's so many little things that we're constantly just improving the graphics on all over the place. And what I'm playing right now currently is the live build of the game. So what you're seeing on screen is 1.1.7.14, which is the current live build. I'm not playing anything new. This is, if you log in and play right now, this is what it looks like when you play on a 3060 video card and 1440p. So we are not rocking anything crazy here, but it is, I don't know, I think it looks great. And yes, there are some updates in the with the new season 2 that will make things look even better. And we'll continue to update those as we go forward as well, so it's not one and done. Will you change the system that forces us to play the campaign for points every time we start a new class? There is, so you still started the campaign, you still have the opportunity or option to play through the whole campaign if you want for each new character. We are making some adjustments to make it so you can skip a lot more of it, a lot easier, and still make up the same power later. and it'll depend on what other resources you have for how fast you can skip through the campaign. Like if you have a friend that you can just warp to at the end, or if you have keys that you can do the dungeons with, and legendaries that'll make your character powerful enough to do those dungeons in the playthrough and things like that. So there's and we are still expanding those options as well. But I think what you're asking for is, are the passive points and idle points going to be available outside of the campaign? Specific details to come on that. First of all, congrats to everyone of the team for making a cool game. Thank you. Appreciate it. Also, cool name, Alex Albert. Love it. The last time I asked the question was before the game launched, and I asked if a dodge roll would be implemented, and y'all did it. So here it goes. Do you think that mounts are a possibility? I think it would be very cool and awesome potential store item. So dodge roll, the evade mechanic. We're calling it evade because dodge is a mechanic in the game. So evade makes a lot of sense in combat with the levels we have, with the enemies we have. Mounts really don't. Like we don't have zones that are big enough for mounts to make sense. I'd say it's very unlikely to actually have mounts show up. It's the sort of thing that you have to kind of like build the entire game from the ground up, expecting mounts to be a thing for them to really function well in the environment. All right, any plans on camera zoom out option or on default? We do not plan on increasing the maximum zoom on the character at the moment. This is the max zoom we're going for is what we've got. All right, any plan? Oh yeah, here we go. Can you hint if we are going to get some form druid MTX cosmetics? Oh, like werebear, spriggan form, and totally remember the name of Swarmblade. Yep, did not forget it, I swear. I always want to call it Scyther form, but it's not. I know. And I don't think any of those are getting cosmetics in the first pass of skills, because they are dramatically more intensive for like what has to be done to make. Like we making one cosmetic for a transform ability is the same as making like 8 lightning blasts. It's more like 15 lightning blasts. Like, so it's one of those things where because it's the initial wave, we wanted to have as many as possible in the initial wave. I think some of the more involved ones may not have been prioritized right at the start, but we are planning on making them because we know they will be very popular. Oh, and it's just cool. We like making cool stuff, you know? Will there be a deep dive on the announced systems before the release April 2nd? Yes. Congratulations on season 2. Very excited. Yeah, we're going to do like, there'll be like the usual hype week, lots of in-depth posts. We're also going to be having, now's probably a good time to talk about this. So next week we are going to be going on the whole month of March. Let me just bring up the schedule here so I give the right information. We're going on podcasts. We're going on a bunch of podcasts. So on the kind of delaying a little bit to see if Kane stops me, and he's not stopping me, so that's great. The 7th, so that's next Friday. We're doing Max Roll podcast, and then on the 14th we're going to be doing Gazzy and Frosty, and then on the 21st we're going to see Talkative Try, and on the 28th we're going to see Aaron. I don't and you're going to see I'll be involved in some of those, maybe not all. I don't think I'll be in all of them. I might be in all of them, I don't know yet. But we're going to have other very key people from the team, like director level people that are going to be at each one of those and being able to give you like a lot better information than I can give you usually. And so yeah, it's going to be really exciting to get some more viewpoints, some more faces in front of the camera. And really excited for each one of those. So yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of very awesome podcasts. So this is in place of my usual Friday live stream next week or the next month. So March is all podcasts instead of the usual Friday dev streams. We will still have I think cozy streams, and we will still have the Discord channel open as well. So you'll still be able to talk to us, still be able to get direct answers to questions, all that sort of stuff. But we are doing a bunch of stuff there. And you know what? Now's a good time. I brought stuff to share. I brought cool stuff to share. Okay, here's a tease right off the bat. It's a good one. I like this one. Yeah. So here is the skill tree. It's the one that goes in this panel for the new ability that's coming for Marksman, Heartseeker. This is yeah, just the icon, the name, and you can see the conversion elements that are available in the skill tree for it. I'm gonna drop that down into the corner and keep playing. All right. Any chance we get more detailed info for the Sentinel rework? Also, Smelter's Wrath rework, because it's kind of bad at the moment. Yeah, so Smelter's Wrath is... Oh, yeah. I do have something cool for Smelter's Wrath that I haven't merged in yet, that I want to get merged in today. Thank you for reminding me. We're just gonna make a little note of that. It's a good place to do that. Make a quick note. Okay, cool. And there is lots of stuff for Smelter's Wrath and other Sentinel abilities too. But yeah, there's one thing I want to get in for functionality for Smelter's Wrath that's missing. We're in the like last minute, get everything in, anything that you wanted to do at the last second, get it in type mode right now. Are we gonna get more vids prior to season release? Oh yes. Oh yes. I have 2 questions. Are there any plans to increase difficulty throughout the campaign? Sometimes the campaign feels too easy, in my opinion. Are there plans to add more AoE effects with inabilities, for example? Why? There's 2 questions. Obviously, there's 2 questions labeled 1 and 2. Yeah, campaign difficulty. There's a lot of ways you can increase the difficulty and optional challenges you can undertake yourself in the campaign, and we do kind of want to promote that still. And yeah. There's not a blanket like everything's 10% harder in the campaign or something like that we're doing, but we are promoting more optional challenges that can sometimes help you jump ahead a little faster, or maybe find something cool. You know, there's some stuff. And thanks to the sub, a dope king. Very cool. Goddamn, the hype is real. It is. It is. All right, second half of this question. Are there any plans to add more AoE effects within abilities? For example, a way to make frozen or chilled enemies explode into ice shards on death, which damage everything around them, which I think is part of Shadow Strike? Something about being able to clear huge packs with chain explosions like that feels super good. Like Sacrifice? Yeah, I mean, we try really hard to make things distinct. Like specific mechanics that make sense for that specific ability. So having unique effects is really important to us. People like triggered abilities, so yeah, we frequently add more of those in. Hello, Mike. Nice Friday. Thank you. It is a nice Friday. Can you confirm if the new rogue skill will be a bow skill or a throw skill? Trailer looks awesome, by the way. It is a bow skill. It is definitely a bow skill. I don't know if it's possible that the video might be showing it as a throwing ability, and that's not a mistake, but it is a bow skill. Which might be where the confusion's coming from. If you could add yourself as an NPC in the game, what would your role be? Oh, I'd really love to voice an NPC for the game. I would absolutely love to do that. One day I will make it happen. I don't know when it will happen yet, but it will happen. I don't know. I'd love it to be something like completely off base. Like, oh no, I've got it. I know exactly what it is. It's the if they ever let me make a mini game to build into the game, I'd be the person who teaches you how to play it and gives you your first set of whatever the thing is you play it with. That's who I'd be. Absolutely. We all know the Sentinel tax is Sigils of Hope. The skill formerly known as Sigils of Hope is also a very good skill, and does have other changes coming in that make it a lot more fun to play. And a lot less numlocky. Like right now, it's one of those things that, yeah, like it takes up a skill in your bar, and you just numlock it. Like you're not even like using it in like intentionally. It's just on. Yeah. We saw the item lets you skip to the end of a dungeon directly to the boss. How do we acquire those, and how rare are they going to be? You can. There's a couple ways to get them. So you can buy them and you can find them, and they're gonna be, if you're playing at like at an elite level, you're gonna be finding them frequently enough, or you'll have access to them frequently enough that you'll you won't really need to hoard them or be too cautious with them, but they'll be, you know, medium rare. I think specific things like that might still be a little bit in flux as well, so that's why I'm trying not to be too precise. Will Void Knight be able to scale with spell damage in the rework? So many passives in their innate passive were melee void damage, making void spells awkward to build around. There's a few things. There's not a ton of void spell damage, and we do really want to promote Void Knight as a melee class still that has access to spell damage rather than a like a spell caster. What's your dream update or feature for this game? Weird. I don't know. Oh, okay, you know what it is? I know what it is. It's weapon swap. And I've said it a million times, and it's been like debated to death in internal meetings, and it's not happening. But it's still my dream. I'm not giving up on it. In case of a dupe, will Ishi consider rollbacks on the new league to save Merchant's Guild? Or are you just afraid to all COF players being mad at this and leave MG to die? Happened at 1.0, 1.1, so kind of recurring at league start. We've taken a ton of steps to, so the most recent league start did not have a dupe involved with it. We've taken a bunch of steps to prevent dupes from being possible to happen. B, we've taken a bunch of steps to make false positives on dupes easy to discover. So when people are like, I found a dupe, and you're like, that's not a dupe, that's a game mechanic that's duping that. So it now tells you when that's happening, so we don't get false information there, because that was part of the problem. Is we thought one of them happened at the exact same time we introduced that mechanic, and we thought it was a false positive on that to be like the first hour or something. Oh yeah, we've also added a bunch of new detection methods for catching it sooner, which lets us act on it a lot faster. And so, and new tools for acting on it as well. So it's, we take the unfortunate prospect of potential dupes very seriously. And even though we haven't had a dupe in the most recent season, we are taking even more steps to prevent that in the future, even being possible. As to what we will do, I know I've kind of just dodged the question, didn't actually answer it, so I'm sorry. As to what we will actually do if it hypothetically does happen, I can't give you an exact answer, because it really depends. If we catch it 5 seconds into it happening, like it wouldn't have done enough damage to matter, you know, like if we catch it, like if we don't catch it or something, I don't know, it changes everything. So it depends is the answer, I guess. I don't want to put anything off the table. Why are there so many exiled mages in the champion scorpion fight? Because that was the exiled mages was the special thing in that zone, and the champion had just spawned randomly. The exiled mages was a specific challenge that the player had opted into, and the champion was a random spawn. Oh, what's the mustache artwork on the big spider in the trailer? I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know what that one is. How do you feel about the new Echo objectives and enemies introduced in the Monolith of Fate? Do they need variety? Do they add the variety you were hoping for? Yes, there's a lot of variety there, and I think it's really going to be what you've seen so far is like just scratching the surface. There's a screenshot you can see where someone's like drags one of them in, or you can like see a little bit of the shot, and you can see the grid of how many there are there. Like there's a lot. Yeah. No room at the inventory. Will sets be buffed. Most of them are pointless right now. So this is the whole thing, like sets. The big set rework is happening. The way you interact with sets is changing. Lots of the base forms of sets are staying the same. I would say there are minor adjustments to the base forms of sets that are happening, partially to fit them better into the new system, partially just because some of them were underpowered. But there are the major changes are more in the system and how the system works. And you'll be interested in picking up set items again. If you're planning on playing Legacy in Season 2, start picking up set items because they're going to be useful to have, and you're going to be happy you have them. Yeah. We're going to outline specific details on what the set item functionality and how that whole system works in, I think, one of those podcasts that's coming up next in March. So I gotta save some stuff for those. I can't, you know, spoil everything there. My goodness, I just saw how big the scroll bar is on the number of, there's 7 pages of questions. There are 7 pages of questions. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here's what we are going to do. We are going to take a moment out of gameplay, which I know no one really cares about anyways, and I'm just doing it because I like gameplay. And I'm going to pop up a couple. These are nodes in the Weaver tree. So this is the new Weaver skill tree that everyone gets access to in the end game. These are 2 of these many options in there, and you can get an idea of there's different styles of nodes that can be in there. This is one of the styles of nodes. There are other styles of nodes too. These are 2 of the nodes, actually. They're related. So this one, remember I've been talking a lot about how we have stuff for people who love arenas and stuff for people who hate arenas. And these are 2 of those options. We have other things too, but these are 2 of the options for people who love and hate arenas. All right, on to some more questions while these are up. Is there a specific, you guys ever plan a new character or something like a magic gunslinger? There's tons of internal ideas on new base classes and new mastery classes, and I really hope we can bring one of them soon, but it's a while off. It's a while off for any of those, yeah. Is there a specific set that you're excited to build around or see characters built around in Season 2? Villatras is always fun. The mage sets really, I think, are going to shine bright. There's a couple that have been changed a little bit. I don't want to say those ones because they have been changed a little bit. So yes, there are. Will some of the stuff on the Weaver's faction tree interact with Weaver's will items? Yes. A bad affix roll can brick a good item, as is good rolls, but crappy amounts of Weaver's will. Yeah, there's stuff that interacts with that too. Like there's other styles of nodes on that tree that do interact with that as well. Is he only answering questions from Twitch? I assume this is a question from YouTube, and no, I'm not. Are there any performance fixes coming? Yes, like grassy zones being way more demanding than any other zones. I don't have specific lists of them, but yeah, there's tons of performance updates that are coming. We will be, it's one of those things, it's an ongoing effort. Performance is one of our primary concerns, and we are constantly working on it. That is, it's never left out. It's just not super flashy to put in a trailer. Being like we got half a frame on average from improving the texture in this zone, and we've got 3 extra frames from improving the shader that's used for water in everywhere. And it's like, okay, great, but like you do that 1,000 times and the game gets way better. So yeah, we are definitely working on performance. Can you show any skill tree nodes for Heartseekers? Sorry, no, I can't. I don't have any ready for you. Seeing that the portal pendant in Key's inventory is between Temporal Sanctum and Lightless Arbor, can we assume that it will not be possible to use in Soulfire Bastion? No, that's a poor assumption. Do not make that assumption. What has been your experience exploring the new tombs and cemetery side zones? A breath of fresh air, something that's like stuff that's been missing in Last Epoch for a long time that feels great. Are the season Weaver dungeons, I think is what I'm trying to say, going to be a permanent feature or just seasonal? I believe they're planning to be permanent. Will we be able to use the controller plus mouse and keyboard at the same time, dual input in Last Epoch eventually? Maybe. You can flip back and forth seamlessly right now. So like if you want to use keyboard and mouse for inventory stuff and keyboard and controller for fighting, that does work right now. But we don't have like a left hand on the controller, right hand on the mouse at the moment. That would be cool, but yeah, it's another input scheme. We're not there yet. So I know this is probably never going to happen. I'd love to be able to get your opinion on it. I'd love to see LE or any ARPG try to see if bringing a limited time playable character would have a place in seasons. Yeah, that's a great idea. I know you'd have to have like 5 to 7 of them in the chamber ready to go, but I think it's a crazy idea and would bring many more people just because you'd be the only one doing it. Just a cool little idea, and I wanted to see what your thoughts on it. I love it. I think it works a lot better when you've got more characters to begin with, but I do love it. I play every few months, and I spend an eternity making the item filter, but I get FOMO that I might be holding items for other classes that I might want to play in the future. What do I do? I don't have a great answer. Maybe pick one other class that you really want to build for at the same time, and just pick up just for 2 classes, and so you've got like your main that you're playing and your backup character, your next character, and do for that. Might be a good way. All right. Can you share the details on the Weaver faction tree where we saw an item in the tree? No, I can't. But I've not heard anyone ask a question about this yet. And I'm like, how is no one asking questions about this? That's like the coolest part of this whole thing that's like was shown in the trailer, and like no one said anything. It's sweet. It's awesome. It's I've been talking about here's what I can tell you. I've been talking about new tech that would make a unique item tab in your stash function a lot better, and that's the tech I was talking about. Guilty again. Welcome back, Guilty. I just realized who you were, and of course, you can ask as many questions as you want. You've been around for a long time. Welcome. Lore-wise, what was the decision to having a mummy theme for the new enemy models? It fits really well thematically, and it like we went through a bunch of like art options, and like the concept art just clicked and felt really cool, and it evolved from there. It was a whole bunch of things that worked together, and oh my god, I am 35 minutes behind right now. Wow. We're gonna keep answering rapid fire questions for a little bit because I'm realizing that I may have bitten off more than I can chew with the number of questions today. Right. Are Runes of Havoc really rare? They seem very OP. They are on the rare side. I think Creation is still the rarest, but yes, they are going to be rare runes. So there's we have I know this stuff in front. I swear. and you can still see it here. I did this intentionally. You've got like the two rows here. There's like the common ones up top and the rare ones at the bottom. So it will be in the rare category at the bottom. All right. Will we ever be getting a level increase with any of the seasons coming up? Unlikely. We balance things around level 100, and it's such a nice round number. I'd be shocked. I would advocate pretty hard against having that. I'd be like, no, let's do other stuff first. It's, I don't want to say no forever though, but it's possible. I wouldn't be personally in favor of it, but I can see the reason for asking for it. What a great season 2 trailer. Thank you. Hype is growing a lot. Any plans to implement any skill like Blizzard for Sorcerer? There is one on Rune Master in the invocations. There's basically Blizzard in there. AoE slow, freeze, shatter would be one really great. Any plans to give us such a skill in season 3+? Keep up the great work. It's also kind of a weather theme, and we've tried to put weather theming stuff onto Shaman as well. So it's the Rune Master grabbing it is a nod to classic Blizzard, but it is theming in Last Epoch. It fits better on Shaman. Can I use the set boni? I think it's like the set bonus shards attributes on uniques. Full details on how that works to come. I don't think so. I'd be pretty surprised if we did that. If we allowed them to be transferable from... I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't think so. I'd be pretty surprised. I don't think so. Salvaging uniques, you gain different tier attributes or legendary potential. The screenshot that was shown, so I'm wording this answer very carefully because I did know this question was coming. The screenshot, the clip that was shown in the trailer is not about re-rolling the legendary potential on that unique. So that specific mechanic that you saw is not about re-rolling the legendary potential. It's about re-rolling the rolls on the item. So like the implicits and the affixes, the rolls that item got. That's what that specific mechanic that you saw in the trailer is about. And I worded that very carefully. All right. Is there a limitation on respecing your mastery? How deep are your pockets? That's it. Do falconry full screen blasts getting nerfed? Yes. Next question. Has anyone thought about possibly giving gear having their own small skill tree? Oh yes, we've talked about that on stream before actually. Like chess pieces that have a skill tree or boots could have some cool interactions there. Yeah, we've talked about, we recently figured out how to put skills on a, I see Ripbird, it's still really strong, don't worry. Instead of just being unbelievably OP, it's just really strong. Anyway, sorry, we did just figure out how to put skills on items that can have skill trees associated with them and have it not break everything. There aren't any of those in season 2, sorry. But it is something that we are considering as a possibility for the future. Because I do think it'd be really cool. Basically, I just want to put a bow with the skill on it that has a skill tree and be able to put that on any class. That's what I want to do with it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the first. As soon as I heard we could do it, that's the first. I'm like, here's 8 ideas for unique bows. Let's do one of these, please. And they're like, whoa, Mike, hold on. Yeah. It's been about 2 years since the Tencent partnership. Are you able to discuss if they have been hands-on in any input, particularly with the new microtransactions and overhaul to the packs? I can say that I have not noticed any influence at all. I don't have a personal connection with them, but I haven't felt any influence at all. I know there's been times where we've like said, hey, do you know anyone that's good at this type of thing? And they have great connections in the industry and that sort of thing. But like, I don't know. I'm not in close enough with them to really give details on this, unfortunately. Sorry. All right. Hi, Mike. Did you have the concern for the for the mastery respecialization coming in season 2 in terms of game philosophy, like the feeling of having less unique character or only one character per class. The trailer is amazing, by the way. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great, thank you. Thanks to the trailer hype as well. Yeah, there's every time we add something into the game, there's always like concerns and debates and all that sort of stuff. I think that there is a really good how to say this? I think there was kind of always this vague idea that we would eventually sort of do this, and I was personally expecting it to happen more when we had more characters, and it became more pressure where like if there was a hypothetical 4th mastery for every class, and you'd have then you're at the point now where it's like harder to make one of everything. There's 20 instead of 15, and like it makes more sense then. And 15 is already a lot though, and I think when we went from 10 to 15, because that was a switch that we did, we considered it then as well. It's one of those things that's always it's been a close to happening thing for a long time anyways, so yeah. The Path has resubbed, thank you very much. That's 35 months in a row. My goodness, what is going on? How did I miss that one? I'm gonna play it again because that's brilliant. Thank you very much, appreciate you. Wow. Yeah, next month is 3 years. Wild. All right. When will we finally get MTX for offline? I want to give you guys money, but I can't. I'm sorry, I don't have any information on that. I don't think it's coming in season 2. I've noticed Void is playing a big part in the lore of Last Epoch. Will we get in the future a Void pet class? I would be surprised if we didn't. I don't know of any specific plans for one at the moment, but I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't. All right, hey Mike, what was your favorite part of the trailer? Ooh, I think the Heartseeker part, because I worked on that a lot. Maybe just when all the items pop up, because I love just seeing new uniques. Yeah. No, it's when the Weaver tree shows up. Just a little glimpse of the Weaver tree, and there's stuff in there that I'm like, oh, people are gonna ask about that. Yeah. All right, set item shards are obtained from shattering, removal, or both. From shattering. You get them from the UI, not from a shattering stone like you would shatter a normal item, but from shattering the set items themselves in the mechanic you saw in the trailer. I'm pretty sure we showed that, didn't we? Do we need to go watch the trailer again? One of the new champion affixes is the exact same as an experimental affix from an exiled mage. Does this mean experimental affixes are gone? It does not. It does mean that we've borrowed some mechanics and changed some experimental mechanics and changed some of the crafting situation on some of the experimental mechanics as well. So yeah, experimental mechanics got a little bit of shuffling and adjusting. Like there's some that are really similar, but are maybe a little different. Yeah. Someone asked, I think someone asked about bees a while ago. There might be something there with experimental. What are the chances of us? Oh, that was on the Discord that I never answered. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, the Heartseeker video, it does show it being throwing. So yes, the Heartseeker by base is a bow skill. And you can't convert it to throwing in the tree. I'll tell you that much either. What are the chances of us getting a movement skill like Frost Claw, where you freeze the ground like Sub-Zero and slide along and give us that fantasy? I mean, we do kind of have. There's the frost converted flame rush. That's so similar. I think we even used Frost Claw as like. I can't remember the character's name. There's a League character that uses maybe that's the Frost Claw you're talking about. I think that was even used as like an example when someone was pitching it to be like, or as like an something reference. But yeah. All right, guilty one more. I see that along with the new Heartseeker skill, there is a unique called Ravager's Dart. Who's the Yondu fan? And what do we thank for this? Yeah. Okay, yeah. That is totally what that is. You're right. I want to keep playing. What if I can just like play by not even looking? We're still behind. We're down to 5 pages. I'm doing good, right? Doing good. 5 pages. Wonderful. Also, are there plans to add more AoE effects within abilities? I think I already answered this. Yes. How do we obtain a dungeon charm to help TP to the boss? You can find them or buy them. But not with gold. You can't buy them with gold. You buy them with something else. You'll have to find the key to that. Alright, can you expand upon the decision to include the mastery respec after previously dev discussion we're leaning heavily away from this? Yeah, there's... I think we want to get into this a little bit more on some of the podcasts in March, but it's a combination of a lot of things, really. I don't know if there's like a explanation anywhere that we can reference. I don't know a great answer off the top of my head that I know I can say type thing. I think it kind of just felt like the time was right. That is propping up our crit strike avoidance right now. Oh yeah, I crafted this right before the stream. And I sealed a T4 of this, but it dropped my foraging potential from like 19 to 0. It's tragic. Tragic. Hi Mike, would you say the campaign is more difficult for season 2? I don't ask for a skip. I love campaign RPG, but it seems too easy in LE after hundreds of hours. Maskus Boots made the campaign much more enjoyable personally, but Boots can be build defining. Have you considered changing it to something else like unique corrupted small idols for players who want extra challenge? We have thought about doing other things like that. I don't think there's anything in season 2 right now for that. It's a little tricky. Like, I think that a lot of really experienced players who've played the campaign a bunch, and if you really want to keep playing the campaign with a challenge, there's lots of different ways to make that challenge harder for yourself if you want that experience. Having too many like in your face ways to do this, like good mode, or like only the good players play this mode type character creation thing at the start, can cause people who are really good at video games but maybe are not experienced with our mechanics specifically have a really bad initial play experience. And kind of getting through the campaign by skipping sections of it, by making it harder for yourself, or just making it harder for yourself by like imposing restrictions like wearing the boots, for example, can give you a way to experience those things intentionally instead of accidentally. If that makes any sense. Does the Weaver faction tree affect echoes or character powers? Yes. Why is it called the Weaver faction tree? Wouldn't it be called the Weaver's Web more appropriate? Yeah. There's you get too many W's. Weaver's Web, Weaver's Will, and it gets a little, the acronyms are a little tricky. But yes, that was considered. All right. Any plans to rework the death recap? Tired of dying, being told 10 damage hit killed me. We do want to give as much information in the death recap as possible, and getting more information there would be great. There's not any huge updates to it coming in season 2. There's gonna be more skins, yeah. Bunch more coming. Is there any new set items, and did any of the old ones get changed? There's no new full-on set items. Yes, some of the old ones got changed, and will set items be good on their own without shattering them? In order to technically I can answer yes to this question. But I think it's going to give a bad impression as to why the answer is yes. And I can't really go into specifics as to why the answer is yes without explaining the entire system. So, yes with a giant asterisk beside it. Alright. Do you have any unique items to share that weren't in the trailer? I don't have any unique items today, I'm sorry. I do have a couple more teasers though. Get to those in a minute. Oh, it's not bad. Don't hate that at all. Can we please get some merch like t-shirts, figures, etc.? Something we can have at home and buy that also support you. I would love to. I would love to. Like something like these little guys. These little guys are cool. You know, that sort of thing, yeah. Doesn't look as good as the painted ones though. I don't have any specifics on it. I really hope it's in the works more than I know. I hope there's like someone behind the scenes that's like, we're almost there. Just don't tell Mike yet. He'll spill the beans too early. That's what I'm hoping for, but I don't know. I'm sorry. Will I be able to play Season COF fully offline on the release of Season 2? Yes. Yeah. I mean, you'll have to download the patch, but other than that, yeah. Mike, are there any plans about a unique item for Caltrops build of Falconer? Maybe. I don't think so.
You're not going anywhere.
There's a mechanic that I just implemented for Caltrops that I think is for not Season 2. And I'm struggling to remember if it went into Season 2 or not. Any thoughts on reworking set items? I mean, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's coming, Season 2. Dear Mike, do you have any information plans about Steam and or in-game achievements? Yes, we're in the ideation phase for them. Early ideation phase for them. Last Epoch, how large is the Sentinel overhaul? Is it mostly just a rebalance? Are there some new skills, themes to the subclasses? There's no new skills. Volatile Reversal has been completely redone from the ground up. So the base functionality, the VFX, the SFX, the animations, the entire skill tree. Volatile Reversal is the only thing that Volatile Reversal really has that stayed is the name and kind of the general gist of what it ish vibes. But it's basically a new skill. But it's not. There's some similarities. Every other skill got anywhere from balance adjustments to like new key nodes in their trees. Yeah. All right. Any plans to add a little friend to pick up the gold for us? We don't have any plans for this, but as I always like to say, that if we do decide to add this in the future, this is something that I just always add on. If we do ever decide to add something like this in the future, we would give it to everyone, and not just people who had purchased pets. It's very hard on Steam Deck to place ballistas. Yes, it is very hard. It's not great right now. I've got great news for you. Can there be an option to add place ballista on the character's spot? There is, yes. So Season 2. Very excited about this in Season 2. I think we kind of touched on it a little bit in the trailer. The controller improvements, which Steam Deck's controller, so it counts, has context and build specific targeting instructions for every single skill. So, for example, with ballista, if you have the node that like you buff the ballista. Or if you have the node where you buff the ballista, it spawns right beside you. If you have the tripwire node where it creates a tripwire between them, it spawns closer to enemies. If you have like depending on which nodes you've taken, it changes where it spawns and how it tries to target to like figure out the best place to put it. And this is the sort of thing we've done. We've gone through every tree, every node, every unique, and tried to find the best place to plant every ability using a controller based on how you specialize it and the circumstances you're in. So like there'll be some situations where it's like, oh, it tries to plant it. If you've got the tripwire, it tries to find an enemy to plant it nearby, but oh, there are no enemies nearby, so it then falls back to a secondary targeting, and oh, the secondary one doesn't work, so then it falls back to what we have right now. So what we have right now is the fallback's fallback, but we have 2 modes before that for every situation. Yeah, it's great. Very, very excited about that one. Can't right click on those yet, can you? Hey Mike! I tend to lose steam with the character on level 75 due to the character progression drop off and the monotony of the Monolith system. Can you speak to how season 2 changes might address that for players like me? Yeah, so the number of activities that you can do in the Monolith Echoes is wildly changing. So like right now we have like 4 different activities in the Monolith itself, and that number is ballooning very heavily. And you're getting agency over which activities you interact with, and you're getting different ways to like place those and strategically place those to make the Monolith web itself more engaging, like opportunities to do cool stuff with that. Trying not to spoil too much that I'm not allowed to talk about. Yes, there's basically just adding a lot of new activities to do. Lots of new cool stuff and things that are fun. So you're, yeah, so it's more interesting, more engaging, more fun. That's really all it is. Sometimes the solutions don't need to be complicated. All right, I have a question about a bit of market balance. Since there isn't really a good way to spend silver, gold just keeps accumulating among players as the season goes, but making the prices on market rise. Are you playing some kind of tax to prevent the gold bloat? I think this is translated possibly. I mean, there are the Vaults of Uncertain Fate, which are a very useful place. If you've got a weird amount of gold, like there's some great stuff that can come out of there. And I'd recommend giving it a shot, especially with the improvements to the dungeons that are coming. It'll make that experience a lot better as well. Because there's other dungeon improvements that are coming too at the same time. And we do have, that's later. With the new keychain for portal to dungeon bosses, great example of what I was just talking about. Will there be any other dungeon improvements? Yes. I don't think I can go into details specifically just yet, but there are. The big key thing is making the experience in the dungeons more fun and like a faster retries on things. So right now, if you get all the way through, you spend all this time going through the dungeon, you get to the boss, you die on the boss, and it like portals you back to end of time, and it's a bit of a slog to get back into that fight again, and it can sometimes take you out of it. So we're focusing on getting you back to where you were faster in a failure state. All right, and also just having the experience where you're succeeding be smoother and more fun. And one more question, please. Always. Do you have any news about the missing chapters of the campaign? They're cooking. That's all I got for you right now. They're cooking. I'm excited to go to the Ancient Era. Any plans to give us... they're not coming in Season 2, by the way. There are no new campaign chapters in Season 2. Make that clear. Any plans to give us commands like /play and /kill? Yes. We don't have it available yet, but it is something that I saw someone working on a little while ago. Are you guys thinking about new classes? Always. I have like 3 different documents on the go of like classes that I'm like, one day I'll pitch this and it's gonna be great. And I come back to it like 6 months later. I'm like, oh, this is a terrible idea, Mike. You're better than that. Game discount? Question mark? I don't know of any, but I'm also the wrong person to ask about that. Because I find out, the last 2 sales we've had, I found out from people on stream telling me the game was on sale. Alright, congrats on Season 2 trailer. I understand you can't talk about Sentinel details. You can give us a rough estimate on how much Sentinel has changed overall. Quite a bit. Like, it's hard to quantify, really. Oh my god, I'm so far behind. So far behind. We're gonna put up another teaser. Here, we're talking about different activities you can do in the end game. So here is an example of one of those activities that you can do in the Monolith that you couldn't really do before. Right. Hi, I'm sorry I'm not super well informed. Saw the trailer and hope to see some new skills. Will there be more new skills than showcased in the trailer, or is that there's only one new skill coming in Season 2? And Volatile Reversal is basically a new skill because it's changed so much. Speaking of Heartseeker, are there any other skills that tie in with auto casts for or from Heartseeker? Yes. I'm not gonna tell you which ones. Do you have any plans on changing elementals that skills can convert to or from for an event or a season? I mean, we add those quite a bit, so we're adding several of those in Season 2. So yes. Hello, I've got a question. Which games do you play besides LE and get your inspiration from, if I may ask? I mean, like, name an ARPG. So like recent ARPGs that I've played, like D2R I come back to every once in a while. PoE 2, recently been playing a little bit PoE 1. I've recently been playing Final Fantasy X again. Recently been I was playing the Switch Kirby game with my wife recently. Civ 7 came out, so I've been playing lots of Civ 6. And if anyone plays Civ, you get that joke. And not there's anything bad about 7, but just every time a new one comes out, the previous one is what everyone goes back to for the first 6 months. Yeah. There's like, and that's just me. There's so many people, like, and that's just recently. Like, I don't know. The list of games is huge. Mike, is the Heartseeker hat a synergy with Caltrops or Net? I don't think so. I don't know. Do you guys still want to have actual expansions in the coming years? I don't think we've ever talked about that. I don't. The word "still" there is confusing me, but it's possible. Loot filter option to have item marketed on item marked on a map. Sound effects when on drop when. We don't have that coming in Season 2. I will continue to advocate for it for next season. Mike, regarding Season 2, do you have any favorite classes and spec? Thank you so much. I'm going to be playing Heartseeker. As people ask me, like, I'm playing Mark's going to play Mark's, I'm playing Heartseeker. That's what it is. I'm definitely playing Heartseeker. But I'm playing it in bow mode, not throw mode. All right, Season 2 trailer is amazing. Can you share any new unique for the Shaman? There definitely are some. I don't have any off the top of my head that I can share with you. I'm sorry. Hi, what do you think about the idea of mobs being pushed or falling off ledges of maps / tile sets? I think it's great. Hey, squirrel. I think it is not something that works great in Last Epoch, because there's all sorts of problems with that, with cliffs, and you know, there's so many problems with it. Yeah. But it does happen sometimes with the ragdoll effects, and it does look really cool. But they need to die on at the top of the cliff, and then the like death animation needs to be them falling off, because like the items got to drop at the top of the cliff, and having an enemy die, like being pushed off a cliff to die, and then having it figure out where the nearest point on the walkable terrain of the nav mesh where it can drop the items, that's a really expensive operation. And I mean like processing power expensive operation. That sounds kind of ridiculous, but it really is, because you it doesn't matter. So if you have like 50 things that you like knock them, like say you war cry, and it knocks a whole bunch of things off a cliff, and they all fall to death off the cliff. But they didn't die until they like landed off the cliff type thing. Having them know that they don't know they're gonna die before they go off the cliff, so you can't mark those spots beforehand. And then having them figure out where they were knocked off from when they died would cause huge performance problems. So there's like, yeah, it's one of those things that is really cool, but the way we've got so many other systems set up around it, it doesn't work in Last Epoch. It's not impossible, but right now it's a very difficult problem to solve for very little out of it. Bang for your buck's low on it, but it's very cool. Question: if you could choose one sentence to convince a group of players who played right when the game came out, when the multiplayer came out, so season 1 or 0.9, sorry, what would it be? Trying to convince buddies to come play within the new update with me. One sentence, eh? I don't know. I ramble too much. Man, I don't have a good answer for this. I'm like, oh, it's cheesy. Oh, that's lame. From 0.9 to now, 0.9 to 1.2, 0.9 to season 2, it has evolved gracefully to the point that it's really special. You should just check it out. There you go. Is the fabled character sheet rework coming season 2? It is not. Settlers of Atera when? Blatant ripoffs never. Sometimes fire just straight up feels superior to cold and lightning due to how much impact Ignite has versus chill and shock. Will you guys be leaning more into Electrify and Frostbite to help address that? Frostbite, yes. Electrify a little bit. Electrify has very specific themings that it goes with, so you'll see that a lot, especially in Paladin, and that is coming. Hey Mike, awesome trailer. I'm hyped. Me too. Does the team have any plans to address the walking animations for character models feeling a bit wonky at a time in the future? I mean, yeah, like every time someone posts a bug report and like this felt wonky, it goes on the list. So yeah, there's animation updates that are happening. I don't know specifically which ones, but it's always improving. Is there any ideas being kicked around for a rogue light / like mini game in the Monolith or something else? I mean, every Echo kind of is that, because if you die, you get bounced out, and it's like you lose the reward. I could see having a new game mode that really leaned into that a lot more. But I mean, it's kind of what dungeons are too, you know. So there's elements of that already. I don't think we have any specific plans to go with a new system that goes really hard into that, but I can see the appeal, and I would actually like to do that. Can we attack and move at the same time using WASD control? If the ability is an instant cast ability, yes. Why do shards or glyphs have to spend another transfer time before entering their chest? I find it quite consuming. I can tell you why we used to do it, or I can just tell you that we're taking that away. So there won't be a thing anymore in season 2. Yeah, there's a new. We've teased it before. You can go check out the Atera monthly posts. I think maybe 1 or 2 back, where we actually showed the screenshot of the settings. So it's just going to be in your settings. You'll go into gameplay, and you'll see one of them is it's like down a little bit, and it's like auto transfer. You can auto transfer any of these, any shards, any crafting materials. So anything that goes into this window. I know there's something up over top of it. Any of the keys, any of the things that go to like the other tabs that are in your inventory, those are all auto transferable. Yeah, just there's a button, a single toggle. It's like just do it all, and it does it all. What are the chances of a guild clan system with meaningful content coming from LE before PoE 2 and D4? Extremely low. I think it would make LE stand out more against the others and also bring some more MMO RPG players from the likes of WoW. Extremely low. Before PoE 2 and D4, extremely low. I think they're both way ahead of us on the clan guild front, and are probably working harder on it than we are too. That's not to say it's not possible to add those things. I would really like to add them. In the past, I was of the opinion that a glorified chat room for your guild was not enough content to have a guild system in the game at all in the first place. But a lot of people have been telling me that I'm just wrong about that, and that's totally probable. So yeah, I've been coming around to the fact that, or the idea that just a glorified chat room to start would actually be worthwhile. Will there be an in-map league mechanic for this league? In-map. I mean, there's there's tons of stuff. The champions are huge. Yes, it's kind of the short answer. There's lots of new stuff like that. Yes, Tombs is a big part of that. Yeah. I think Tombs is the biggest part of that. How does it feel to be such base devs? Feels pretty good, I think. It's a good thing, right? No, yeah. Thank you. Developing a video game is an emotional roller coaster. It is extreme highs and extreme lows, and I love it. And I am so grateful and so happy to be doing this with my life. And it's a thank you to everyone who plays the game, because it wouldn't be possible without any of you. And I do love it. Yeah, thanks. I feel the time between Harbinger 1 and Aberoth was a big grind. Is Uber Abbey going to be harder to access, or any chance of regular Abbey downgrading to a bit faster Pinnacle fight? Uber Aberoth will be harder. And take longer to get to. There's other stuff in there, so it's not just straight. There's other fixed difficulty content challenges to attempt in the meantime that will make that process be a lot more enjoyable and engaging. These streams have inspired me to work on an ARPG. Awesome. I've always wanted. Do you have any advice when designing all the different systems? There's so much. Thanks. Try to plan as much out in advance before you start implementing something if you can, but don't be locked into it. So trying to figure out how different systems fit together for the future, but be willing to change your mind on these things and be prepared to as well. And so like there's things you're going to have to be flexible on. Like there's our crafting system was a huge part of our initial Kickstarter. We spent a ton of time on it, and had to change it pretty drastically actually, and for the better. But it's one of those things that you have to be prepared to let go of systems that you may feel pretty attached to, just because they stop working as the game evolves. Hey, will this season have DLSS frame generation or release, or only upscaling? I don't know specifically what's coming with it. I know we are working on features like that. I don't know what made it or will make it into season 2 or not. Hey there, as a PoE delve lover, can I find something similar in last Epoch? There's like elements of it a little bit in the not. I'm gonna say not really. There's kind of elements of it in the Monolith system a little bit ish, but yeah. All right, loot lizards feel like they spawn a lot. Any changes on their frequency? Yes, we are. And this is one of those things, like as we add more systems, we can drop the frequency of some of the other systems. So yeah, loot lizards are dropping are appearing less and dropping fewer items. Oh no, that sounds terrible. They are dropping on average higher quality items, so you'll still get a similar amount of loot from loot lizards, but it will be it'll be less spammy and less everywhere-y. There's still pretty like there's still a lot there, but you know we probably pushed it a little too far. Are you going a little lighter on the nerfs for the upcoming season, or are there some candidates that will be nerfed heavily? We're raising the floor of where most abilities are, and like the extreme outliers are, you know, like they're getting a pretty heavy nerf bat to them, but at the same time, like a pretty heavy nerf bat to something that is 100 times more powerful than where it's supposed to be is still really, really powerful. So it's a hard thing to quantify there. I got another sub. Dramikius? This is one of those ones that I bet it's capitalized cool. No. A tier 3 sub. Dramikius. Dramikius? I am butchering it and I apologize, but I do like the name. My original the handle that I used for gaming as like a kid and everything is like, it's one of those ones that no one gets right. And it's like, it's confusing because it starts, the first 4 letters are just Mike backwards, and like it's been my email forever, and like yeah, there's more to it as well, but yeah, it's it's a little silly. So I understand the blight of a name people don't pronounce properly. Also, my last name's for some reason not pronounceable. In Little League, here, like personal trauma story time, Little League, my cousin and I are on the same Little League team, and they mispronounce both of our names back to back differently. Same last name, and they like he next at the bat, you know, yada yada, butcher the name. Next at the bat, Mike, yada yada yada, butcher the name again differently. You're like, it's back to back. At least say it the same. Yeah. Anyways, why have you chosen a Sunday to release a new season? I don't think we did. For someone who can only play on weekends, it seems like such a waste. Friday would seem so much better. April 2nd's a Wednesday? We're releasing on a Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It would not be a last Epoch dev stream if I didn't leave something on the screen and keep playing. Thanks, Kane. All right, we're only half an hour behind now, though. And we do Wednesday instead of Friday because we want we want a couple days to settle things down a little bit, and any hot fixes that need to be emergency pushed out if there's problems where we're still at work normal days. I think that's probably the big reason. What did you consider the challenges and problems to address with the Sentinel rework? What did you want to accomplish with the rework? I think build diversity was a big thing, because there are some really powerful Sentinel builds. Aggression and build diversity, I think, would be the 2 pillars there, because there are some really powerful builds out there, but they have they're really narrow and they use really specific abilities, and it's kind of like if you're not using these a couple things, your build's just gonna fall apart. So you're really shoehorned into a few limited options to make the build function, and quite often it didn't really come online fast enough. So I think those are the key things, and then yeah, just the amount of damage that we ripped out, taking things away from being like numlock requirements, and just buff uptime requirements, just being like, well, this is busy work, just keep this buff up. Removing a lot of those things, and focusing more on like moment-to-moment gameplay decisions being the interesting thing you're doing. Are there any current plans to allow flying in the game similar to the Lich? like just like a character that looks like it's floating physically. Yeah, we do that in a few places actually. Like Surge on the mage, when it shoots forward, it floats forward. Yeah, we do that in a few places. I think there's room for, and like the falconer, it grabs the falcon and flies forward with aerial assaults. I think there's room for a few more thematically appropriate things like that. I'd love to see a character that could fly and it is always flying. That'd be neat. Any word on if we the Swarmblade flies? What am I talking about? Any word on if you'll eventually get more classes or subclasses, or at least the ability to customize your character, like select gender? It's all stuff that we want to do. None of it's really imminent. None of it's season 2, but yes, that is stuff we are very interested in. We really need uniques to be more general, so that character builds don't get bottlenecked into the exact same uniques because they only boost that one skill you use. Whoa. That's a big button. 5 gifted subs to the channel, Demetrius. Hopefully, I guess I didn't butcher the name that bad. Huh? Thank you very much. That is wonderful. Thank you. Congrats to everyone who got one of those. There's a mix of generically useful and specifically useful uniques that are coming. One of the most powerful uniques that's coming next patch was already teased in the trailer, or was already shown off in the trailer. Is extremely generically powerful. Yeah, which could be good or bad. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hey Mike, how are you? I'm great, thanks for asking. I wonder if you guys fixed your servers or not. I played on launch. Yes, we have fixed them. If you just played on since launch, it's there. Go play now. And it didn't go well, and we stuck on doors and loading and everything. And I don't care. I don't know if we will encounter these problems. We have completely. Is everything different from since launch? There must be something that's the same still. But like we rewrote the network code. We have a different server provider. We have like everything's been basically redone since the version of multiplayer, everything that we had at launch. Like it's yeah, it's way better now. Come on over here a little bit more. Thank you. Can you tell us about that mace that spawns spiders? Some of the text was hidden by the announcement text. Ah, you mean the creepiest ailment ever? No, I can't give you any more details than what's on the trailer. Sorry. Any plans for adding divine orbs for uniques? Any way to see? Kinda. Technically, I can answer no to that. Technically. Any way to see the league mechanics in the maps? Probably not before enter. Like, I understand what you mean. You're asking spiritually, and more info to come soon. Second question here. Any way to see the league mechanics in the maps? Probably not before entering, but after completing the map objective, perhaps. It doesn't show you like every single, like it won't say like there's a nemesis that's gonna spawn in here. There's an exiled mage that's gonna spawn in here. There's a yeah, there's it doesn't tell you everything that's like yeah, well, no is the short answer. There's not a way to do this, sorry. There are certain things that will tell you when you get close to some of them in the map, but there are And the ones that are really important, like there's a tomb in there, it'll tell you there's a tomb in there right from the start. All right, YouTube, I've been told to let you know that we are taking your questions. I'm just really far behind. So if it seems like I'm ignoring you, I'm not. I apologize though. And I will try and answer as many questions as I can, as fast as I can. How's Wozzy feeling? Can you attack and move at the same time? If you have an instant cast ability, it can be, you can move and attack at the same time because it's instant use. Almost all abilities are not. Like you can't swipe and like see how I'm holding down movement and swipe at the same time. Like I'm holding on my left and right clicks right now. This is what happens. So you don't get new functionality for moving and attacking compared to what like just hold down movement and try and do whatever thing at the same time now, and that's the way it is. I want to be really clear. WASD feels, for people who like WASD movement stuff, it does feel really good to have in the game, and I think people are the feedback on it that we've been getting is like, even though it's not perfect, definitely included, which is why we've very clearly labeled it as a beta. It is a very early version of the functionality. We are still working on it. It is you know, all the controller updates for it, for targeting and stuff like that helped so much with it. We had a version before we did the controller updates that we tried, and it was still real bad, and that's part of the reason why we were like, we're not doing this. But yeah, it's not PoE2's WASD movement controls. This is a beta version of it that we're working on. It does feel, I would say, very good, but not perfect yet. So if you're excited to try WASD, I would still be excited. This is a good one. Oh no, is that the same icon? It's the same icon.
I was supposed to be unstoppable.
Dude, boots. I like boots. Any changes to the Endless Arena? Yes, there are changes. There are just general quality of life changes to it that just make the experience a lot more fun to play. And then there's also things you can modify with it through the Weaver tree. Yeah, yes, it's better. Oh, the Endless Arena. Yes, there's stuff there too. The Weaver tree affects arena echoes. Sorry, but yes, the arena itself did get improvements as well. The Endless Arena, anyways. Both all of the arena encounters in general got improvements, so they feel are a lot better to play. Any Sigils of Hope updates? The skill formerly known as Sigils of Hope will be, you won't be numlocking it anymore. I don't think. You might be. I would say it's very unlikely that you'll only be numlocking it anymore. Hey, are there any plans for the console release? We'd love to do a console release. We don't have any firm plans really. It would be really fantastic. It's something that we are. There's no updates on it. Any changes to Nemesis and Harbingers? Yes, not a lot. There's some, I would say, very minor changes to both. They can be affected by the Weaver tree though. All right, Mike, what about a Cosmos era? Any plans for the future? I think any time travel game, especially one that's storyline wise and fairly heavily inspired by one of the greatest games of all time, Chrono Trigger, kind of has to leave a little bit of room for the potential of a future era type thing. I don't know if I did this already, but I think I'm just going to answer questions because I've still got 3 pages of questions here. I'll slap up someone else. Yeah, here's a cool little. This is a Weaver another Weaver tree node. Just giving you a little bit of a a peek into this another style of things that can be on the Weaver tree. There's other things too. So like the Weaver tree is pretty diverse in what it can do. Are you guys still adding the layout change option for the idols? I don't think we've ever announced that or said we were going to. I think we've definitely talked about that being a potential avenue for modifying the idol system in the future. We don't have any specific plans for that right now. And the layout for the idols is not changing in season 2. I think it's a really easy way to win for future seasons, for like a low lift, high reward update in the future. All right. Hi, are you guys thinking about reworking Black Hole? Yep. How rare are the weaving runes? Something more like a null rune or more like a creation rune? Creation will still be the rarest, but it is in the rare category. Are there any plans for changing the layouts of dungeons in season 2? They did get some adjustments. Have you guys asked about Obsidian Resonance yet? No. If so, what's the answer? Asking about the increasing the drop rate. I think it. I don't know. I hope it was increased. I really hope it was increased. I don't have any visibility on this right now, but I really hope it was increased. I'm still convinced it was bugged. I think it was bugged all of 1.1, and I think the drop rate was much lower than it was intended, and I don't know for sure. All right, how many points are needed to unlock Heartseeker? It is a marksman specific ability. I'll tell you that much. I don't know how many points. Either 30 or 45. I think it's above the lock line. It's basically where someone. Yeah, it's either like here, or here. It's one of these 4 slots. I don't know which one. Does the Confluence of Oblivion teaser hint at fighting multiple Orbis at the same time or one after the other? I'm pretty sure they're one after another. Pretty sure it's like a boss rush, not a horde. Hello, Mike. It's been a while since I saw you. Different room. Yes. It's undecorated at the moment, but I'm planning on rotating my desk 90, and you'll actually see that wall, which has tons of open space on it for wonderful things. Oh, well, yeah, I got my I got Geralt's sword down there. I got Sauron's mace back there. I got Link's shield over somewhere. You know, we got some stuff to put up. It'd be cool. Different weight, but still handsome. Thank you. Ding. Is there anything about guilds or some sort of gifting changes? Any plans for guild SSF angle? We don't have any plans for that at the moment. It's something that gets brought up every once in a while. A guild SSF mode it creates a bit of a cartel vibe, and there's a lot of RMT stuff that can happen really easily with that. Question, and any plans for large group PvP events? Not specifically. We've talked PvP before, and one of the very first tests we ever ran with multiplayer was there's about 20 of us, and we hopped in, and it was a green plane, and everyone had fireball and nothing else, and fireball one shot killed everyone because it didn't check health differences. It just killed you no matter what, and it was the most fun I've had in a long time at that point. And so like, yeah, a big horde of free-for-all one-shot kill fireballs on a green plane. Super fun, surprisingly enough. And so yeah, I'd love to do something like that. Not specifically that, but like a PvP style thing would be great. And I think that's a good angle for us in the future once we've got a lot more content in the game. Will Umbral Blades be getting some love? You know, the all builds use the blade throwing variant. I would love the base version of the skill, but it's lacking. I think that is the style of thing we've been looking at. Finding ways that we've given options to play builds that just aren't really used because they're so underpowered compared to other options. As when I talk about bringing up the base of lots of things, that's where we look. Things like that. I don't know specifically if this, I don't want to give specific information on balance changes, but that's the style of thing we've been looking at. The gap between regular echoes and empowered feels like a big, it's like a bit leap, but I think it's a big leap in difficulty. Are there any plans to bridge that? There's more, I think it feels right now a lot like there's nothing good to get in normal monoliths. And because there's nothing good to get, the point is get to empowered as fast as possible. Like do whatever you can to get there as fast as possible. And I think a lot of players end up getting there too fast. And having good stuff to get in regular, or be possible to get good stuff in regular monos through other mechanics will make that process feel better. I really love and there's more steps along the way. There's more like there's smaller gaps between the benchmarks because there's more benchmarks. I really love where Last Epoch is headed. Awesome, but I'm wondering, are you planning to make factions the main flavor of your endgame system? Are we going to expect a new faction every release or few releases? I think it will be, We did plan this faction system to be very expandable. I think it's one of those things where we've got this new system, this new framework for putting stuff in the game, and it's really easy to use that to frame new mechanics, and it's really easy to, like, we don't have to teach people. Once you learn one of your item factions, we don't need to teach you this UI again, and this idea of like gaining favor to rank up and get different rewards. Like this whole framework for building this language, once that's established, it's a really powerful tool to introduce new mechanics without having to have people acclimatize to those new mechanics. They build on that previous knowledge of other factions to get into the systems a lot faster. So for franchise players, it's a really good thing for teaching new mechanics. And for new players, it makes it easier to learn them as well, because you're only learning one way of interacting with them. Having said that, there is a point where there will be too many of them. And so I think what we'll see is the number of factions that get added to the game slow down quite a bit, but we will still add more. Ward will be nerfed, question mark. It is insane how easy our playing character with almost infinity HP pool just by stacking ward. Yeah, there's we're trying to move the way you get access to ward as a defense more onto items, so that the progression curve on your defenses is drawn out a little bit more. Right now there's like a couple nodes that once you get them, you hit some breakpoints and your ward shoots up to the stratosphere. And having that be more based on your item progression will smooth that curve out a lot. Yeah, and yeah, we are nerfing some of the crazy, ridiculous things that can shoot into the moon. All right, any plans in the future for a class that can dual wield two-handers? Not specifically, but not specifically not either. Will there be a beta test period for season 2? There has been a beta test period for season 2 going on for the last 2.5-3 months. I think we released our first CT patch in December. Yeah, they've been testing it, doing great. There's still new stuff that we're putting in that they don't even have access to yet. There's a sweet new feature that we just finished designing this morning. I was up quite late last night putting in chunks of it, early chunks of it. I'm gonna stay up tonight and put in a bunch more. Very excited about that one. Any good Raptor builds we should keep eye out for or unique? Nothing that's been spoiled. I missed some subs. Infernal 246, thank you very much for the sub, appreciate it. And Cajun Canuck, always welcome here. I too am a Canuck. Not Cajun, but I love Cajun food, so. And Mighty Dako! Thank you very much for the subs, everybody. Appreciate you. Appreciate you a bunch. And I'm only half an hour behind. I'm gonna catch up here, I promise. We're gonna get through these questions. We are gonna do it. Any good? All right, so that. Anything you can share about on Lizard Tales? The mystery continues on Lizard Tales. I'm sorry. Will you continue to update your legendary loot filter in next season? Just loot filter in general, yeah. First of all, that season 2 trailer is great. You answered that before that there will be idle crafting. Are we getting to that this season 2? We'll see what happens. With the numerous upcoming new items, isn't it time to give us more stash tabs? If you're running out of stash space with 200 stash tabs, oh my god, really? Really? Wow. We have just done a bunch of stuff for performance updates in the stash system that might make it possible to increase the size of the stash. But oh my god, really? You're running out with 200 tabs? That's a lot of stuff. I think I would encourage a little bit of spring cleaning. But I do think it is time to add some more and we are pulling some stuff out of tabs. So like keys are getting pulled out of tabs. So you're gonna get more space there. And I would really like to pull or have like a tracking like a unique tracking tab. I'd love to do that as well. Do you buy all woven echoes from the faction, or are there random drops that you can't buy? There are random drops that you can't buy, mostly. Any work put into the Beastmaster summons that are underused, like Bear and Sabretooth? Yes. Just fixed a Sabretooth bug last week, and we just gave Bear a little buff last night. And other stuff too as well. Will Heartseeker have any synergies with Falconer or Blade Dancer, or is it pretty marksman focused? Sorry for re-asking if I want to tag last Epoch, that's totally fine. It is a marksman specific skill, so you can't use it if you're a Falconer or a Blade Dancer. So it is very marksman focused. Any plans on competitive system like rifts and leaderboards to keep blasters engaged with the game? Yeah. They're not all going to be fully realized in season 2, but yes, we do have stuff for that in the pipeline. Mike, hello, that's me. Curious, have you guys ever ping-ponged back and forth a class or mastery that uses martial arts to attack? Yes, like kicks, punches, elbows, etc. Yes, absolutely, we've done this. I think it'd be super dope to see a character have skills around super kicks, Bruce Lee, but turned up to 1,000. Yeah, this is I think maybe not a core ARPG fantasy, but is definitely in the secondary ARPG fantasy list that gets used very frequently, and I think we would be foolish to ignore it. And we're not ignoring it. It's just not in the game right now. And I don't know if it's ever actually coming or not, but I definitely really hope it does. Hello, I am a Merchant Guild player. To sell something, I have to check the other listings. Any plans to put a system into search based on your item in your inventory? Yes. However, we don't have anything ready for that. It is quite an involved process. That is, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but if we find a way, then yes. All right, hey, is there any chance you guys will consider adding LP to set items? No. Well, yes, we've considered it hundreds of times, but we've rejected it hundreds of times. I find that the sets are cool, but they never compare to just good LP pieces. Set items will be a desired drop in season 2. Hey, Mike, I have 2 questions. 1, can we get higher aggro range for minions? 2, can we get a unique for Abomination, my favorite skill? There are no A-bomb uniques? Really? Wild. If there's no A-bomb uniques after season 2, I will start working on one, I promise. Aggro range for minions. You can get a there's a rare chance for a wolf summon to be called Fenton, and it will have the longest aggro range ever and will never come back. But we do want to sort of an idea we've been kicking around for a long time is having like minion stances like you see in WoW, for example, where you've got like aggressive, defensive, and stand ground, just like real basic. But I think that's where I'd like to look for something like that. How does WASD work with Warpath, for example? Is there an option to technically numlock an ability like that with WASD? We don't have a built-in mechanic in the game to numlock an ability, but you can use WASD to move while warpathing, and you can use numlock to do that if you want. Is there a revamp to the mono completion passives coming for season 2? The shard ones feel so underwhelming. The these ones, like these things. There's a few adjustments to some of them, but there's not like a big overhaul or anything like that. These things. There we go. Got it from behind the overlay. Thanks, game. Showed a way to remove arenas. Are there any plans to expand that system to specialize in certain kind of Monolith content in the future? Yes, season 2. It's coming. This is the things we've teased with the Weaver web, the Weaver skill tree. You got me saying it now. The Weaver skill tree is the style is some of the style of some of the nodes. So there are other styles of nodes too. There's quite a few nodes, quite a few options. There's some really cool nodes that are special that we haven't touched on, but you can kind of see little teases of them in the tree in the trailer. Go speculate on what those are. They're great. I'm really excited about those ones, and we'll be talking more about those in one of the podcasts in March. All right. We're over time, but we're going to power through. COF effect drop chances from the Weaver tree. Kinda. That's like kind of like asking, does stats from your idols affect stats from your gear? And they both affect the same thing. So kinda. I guess yes? Sort of? Since champion affix is sealed, is there any chance for it to be tier 6 or 7 like every other affix? There are T6 and yes, there are T6 and T7 champion affixes in the database. I know that. I just put one in. I don't know how you get the T6 and T7 versions of them. They must just drop that way. What am I talking about? There are T6 and T7 versions of the champion affixes. Some of them are really good. Is there a fix coming for Fog of War soon? This is something I'm pretty sure it got fixed. I think it's in. I know it's being worked on for like static zones. I don't know if it's in for season 2 or not. I'm gonna say a tentative yes. With all of the mono changes, did all of the quest echoes from the normal monos get changed to be less boring? I don't think much of those changed. Have you ever considered getting rid of empowered monoliths and making a longer progression instead which incorporates the use of corruption more progressively as well. Yes, we've considered that. We're not doing it. Will the prophecies be changing in season 2? Updates to CFMG framework for spending favor. There are changes to the prophecies, yes. Some of the lenses are getting moved to other places, so that they're less mandatory. So you'll have more flexibility with your lenses, and some of the balances from my minions decided to go kill something, and some of the balance from prophecy to prophecy is changing as well in some of them. Yeah. Will you guys be adding side content with seasons similar to how PoE added Delve or Harvest? I mean, the tombs and the cemeteries are a huge system. More character slots when? I'm not sure. I know there was some backend stuff that had to happen for that, but we are looking at more. I think the plan is to increase the slots. I saw a post, someone was like, instead of increasing the slots, you add the mastery respec. Completely unrelated in every way. Just squash that one right away. Not even a little bit of the consideration whatsoever. That would have me chuckle when I saw it. I just want to mention as well, so March, if you didn't hear at the start, all of March dev streams are going to be replaced with podcasts that are hosted by various ARPG streamers and YouTubers and wonderful people that want to ask us questions that will make us think, and we're going to be revealing a whole bunch of stuff about the game in each one of those. We've got specific topics for each one of like stuff we're going to reveal, so there's going to be big new content reveals in all of those. The March 7th is Max Roll with Rax and Ziz. March 14th is Gazzy and Frosty. March 21st is Talkative Try, and March 28th is Aaron. And so we will be I'm pretty sure they're all being hosted on their individual channels, but we'll have like game directors, creative directors, and a whole bunch of very high tier people at EHG are going to be going on those, and I'll be there as a supporter as well for some of them. And yeah, so we're gonna have several big podcasts throughout March. So if you're interested in learning more about stuff, that is going to be a great source of info. And if you want to get questions answered by people other than just me, submit questions to those streamers, and they'll be able to ask us as well. And I know they've got lots of people. You probably know, everyone watching this is like, yes, we know all of those people, Mike. All right, how has the team tried to keep multiplayer at the forefront of this upcoming update? I mean, multiplayer is one of those things that as the game just improves, multiplayer is going to improve with it. We haven't made any multiplayer specific content, but we have really tried to make it so that the multiplayer feels and flows better. So the multiplayer plays like you should feel like you are playing a single player game from a smoothness standpoint, playing multiplayer. Like you should feel like everything's very natural and normal, and that you're playing like local, side by side, that sort of thing. So like we've been working on performance and stability. Can we have themed tabs just like PoE? So we are adding some themed tabs to the inventory itself. So they'll go right in the inventory. There'll be like tabs right along your inventory here, and they'll have various themes to them and things that will go into them automatically. You won't have to move them there; they'll just go there immediately right from pickup. If you've got the settings and options and settings you'll have to take. Hi Mike, any plan to add a werewolf form or a game to werewolf form to the game, or Swarmblade is covering that spot? I don't know what that word's supposed to be. Swarmblade was the instead of werewolf when we initially made it, I think it's possible that we'll see I think it's more likely that we would see a reskin of one of them through cosmetics to werewolf, like wherever it becomes werewolf. I think that's more likely to happen than a new skill for werewolf. I think we'd see a different transformation that was more mechanically unique first, but maybe not, who knows. Any chance to make crafting materials to get auto picked up with the money and move to crafting Matt's inventory instead of your base inventory? Be a nice quality of life update. Half of that, yes, which I just talked about. They will go directly to your inventory, your crafting inventory window. Hi, casting Maelstrom with the stacking skill talent makes it annoying to constantly look bottom left on the buffs. If I have all 3 stacks, I cast it again. It distracts heavily from the gameplay. Are there plans to improve this? Yes. Can you show WASD movement? I cannot. I'm sorry. The only WASD movement clips that I can improve to share are the ones that are in the trailer. Oh, here we go. We're almost there. Oh. Because sets will be desirable in season 2, are there any changes to the CUF set drop rank coming? This is one of those I don't know if we've released that, if we did this when we did the 1.1 refresh or not. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, Kane, yes. We moved it previously, so we have moved it. Like, if you haven't played in a while, it has been moved recently. But if you're actively playing now, I think it's staying where it is now. I was level 100 in hardcore season 1 and died to a one-shot that was endless wave mode around wave 300-ish. Died with a one-shot meteor while taking 0 damage in all previous waves. Those effects getting toned down. I think the important thing is that the visual clarity is getting toned up. So you should like giving players the opportunity for. There's always going to be a point where, especially builds that have really high recovery, where you'll end up getting one shot by something. With an endless scaling system, there's kind of just going to be that tipping point where you just can't keep up anymore, and there's going to be one big hit that kills you. And I think that's a symptom of an endless scaling system in general, which the arena literally is that. And so I don't think that the damage of the effects getting toned down is the important part, but rather the because there's different things that are dangerous to different characters. So if you have a lower recovery rate but a higher like one-shot defense rate, you'll end up dying more likely to like 1,000 cuts than one big hit. And so sometimes it can be like, well, this one side is completely not dangerous, and there's this other thing that's crazy OP and it just kills you every time, and it must kill everyone every time. And if one style of defensive mode on a character is completely dominant for all characters, then yes, it does end up being that way. We do try and one thing we are trying to do is balance the defensive system so that there are different options that have different strengths and weaknesses, and you can try to shore up those weaknesses by dipping into some other defensive options. And we're trying to give more avenues to do that as well. The big thing though, which I mentioned at the top of this, was the clarity. So being able to see more clearly when that's happening and when it's coming in, and because I know exactly the enemy you're talking about. So we did reduce the range on them, so they can't shoot you from as far away. And I think we also increased the variability on the timing for it, so you less. With what's live right now, I think you'll frequently end up in a situation where you get hit by like 4 of them all at the exact same time, and it looks like a one shot, but it was actually a 4-shot. But because they just like all land at the exact same time, it effectively is they work together in perfect harmony. It's the same reason why, I don't even remember this, like the first time I ever went to a battlegrounds in WoW, this one shaman walked up to me and just like one shot me with a lightning blast, and it was like, what just happened? And I learned later on that it was actually 4 shamans stacked directly on top of each other being multi-boxed, and it's actually 4 hits type thing. So it's that can happen as well, and we are We've done something to stagger those so they're a little bit less all at once-y. And a little bit shorter range, so you can see them and interact with them as they're going as well. Have you ever had your phone blow up midstream with fellow devs saying, Mike, no, stop talking about this? I turned like all my notifications off pretty well. And I've got Kane on a screen just over here that shows me that if I start saying bad things, he's interrupt me a couple times. I'm usually pretty good about it. Or I just talk fast enough that, it gets out and there's like, well, cat's out of the bag. There hasn't been any huge problems though, I don't think. And that's all the questions I have here. I think we stopped taking questions. I probably should have said this. I think we stopped taking questions when we hit the time mark. But if there's anything that's like really important that I've missed, I could be convinced to answer one more question. When will we know who the immortal emperor is? I'm dying. You will not find out who the immortal emperor is in season 2. Has the Sentinel's overall damage power been nerfed with the volatile reversal and other skill tree overhauls? No, I believe it's been buffed overall. All right. Mike's answer was accurate. All right. That'll do it for me. I think this is a great stream. Let's try and bring up. Let's try and bring some stuff up here. Here, timeline. Let me shrink this a little bit. So I'm trying to do this when I have a bunch of them. Get them all on screen at the same time. It's hard to see them all at once though. Here we go. A little bit of everything that we've shown this stream. I hope you had fun. I know I did. I'll be back. Same time, different place next week. With some other lovely faces doing a podcast. Yeah, we'll be back. We're gonna have lots of new stuff coming. There'll be devlog posts. Second half of March will be the concentration of that. There'll be we'll try and get more teasers out, things like that. We're trying to get as much information out as it comes. There's still a few things we're trying to slap in at the last second here. I hope you all have a wonderful time with this patch. I'm really excited about it. I think this is gonna be one of, if not the biggest one we've ever done. It's like, as far as endgame content, I think this is the biggest endgame content release we've done. Yeah, I'm really excited. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Let's go say hi to someone. Oh, here we go. Haven't seen you online in a while. Well, at least not while I've been finishing stream. And if you're listening, I'm sorry that I haven't got that document feedback to you yet, but I'm working on it, I promise. I just gotta finish this feature first. Bye, everybody!